November 7th is cutoff. There's no more enrollments after November 7th. That's not even 2 days from now. They smile in your face all the time. They want to take it. What's up, y'all? We back. We back live. I had to cut that off because I'm going to repurpose that video that we just reacted to. That's the goal, at least. We're going to repurpose it. I also wanted to show you guys this. So we've been putting this together. The Pi Tax Playbook. U.S. students. So we got tax code and brackets. We got paying your estimated taxes, understanding business entities, LLC versus S corp, student loans and avoiding these scams, tax exemptions, deductions and credits, understanding add backs, that's a big one, and self-employed health insurance deduction. Okay, so this is the tax playbook. This is going to be in our personal finance blueprint. So we went over the personal finance masterclass. We'll do personal credit plays, budgeting, and the tax playbook. And then next we'll be building out the personal credit masterclass. That's the next one, except I got to spell that correctly. All right, so we'll be building this one up. I wonder if they got some emojis here for this. Let me see, credit card emoji. I need a credit card emoji. They got a credit card emoji. Vamos a ver. And they do. Come on, man. Stop playing with me. All right, they go to emoji. What's up, y'all? What's up? Dope hat, thank you. You can get it from Sway. Let me see. Let me see if I can find them on the IG. Right here. If you want this hat, just hit up this guy right here. One of our students in the mentorship. And it looks like he got a link here. I wonder if he sells the stuff. Nope, that's just for his appointments. But hit him up, and yeah, he'll help you out. That's where I got this hat from. Very, very cool young man. Definitely show him some support. If I was to get the monthly for $120, would I be able to switch it to annual in the future? Yes, and it'll be prorated. Absolutely. Good question. Can I report income as a barber working from home? Absolutely, you can. Yes, and you have legally you have to if you make above a certain amount. So, good questions. Good questions. All right, I want to watch this election day stuff.
Thank you. True. Look
Wow.
at he's casting about for DGG.
So cute.
That is
I would
cute.
lose viewers to wear that
It's
shirt.
adorable.
But you wouldn't lose viewers because it would be so adorable, right?
What?
Thank you.
I'm in my shirt, not you.
Rick Scott one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's okay.
It sure would improve it for sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. What else was I doing? Oh, callers. Who is there? People. Just keep yapping. Okay. Just drag everybody in this group. That's what we're doing.
Hey, first time callers.
You okay, Dan?
Like the white hairs in your beard are increasing. Like as I actively look at you.
They're what?
Are you calling him old?
What? Can we just...
Urban.
Wait, hold on.
urban
Nick, when we're doing calls here, or when Kyle and us are doing calls, can you have the other room be quiet a little, or just like quiet down a little bit? Yeah.
Just can't hear.
let's see. Holy smokes. Boy. This MSNBC. Getting real out here. This is crazy, man. What do y'all think's gonna happen, y'all? He said, "Hey Chris, how can you claim paying the shop their percentage if they don't give you receipts, your bank statements, your P&L? So if you have an accountant or a bookkeeper, they can categorize it, and that's good enough. You know, it's not your business if they ain't, if they're not reporting it, that's on them. But you need to report it, and you can do that through QuickBooks. You can do it yourself if you take a quick bookkeeping class. I would not advise. I'd focus on making money, but I don't advise regardless. So don't sue me, bro. So Florida, is that Oklahoma is red. It's crazy. Miami voted Harris. Interesting. All them Cubans that live there. Hey, let's go. I'm glad you're excited, man. You need tips for finding a good accountant? I would ask, clients that you respect and that are good business people. I would, try to find a referral through that if you want somebody local. If not, hit up pieaccounting.com. Yeah, Keith, that's fine. So what you do is you withdraw your cash for your booth rent so that there's a paper trail. You don't just take cash throughout the week and not deposit that cash. Right? You need to deposit your cash every week and then withdraw the cash. And if, let's say, your booth rent is $200, every week your accountant should see a withdrawal for $200 that he or she categorizes as booth rent. That way you can write it off. Come on, let's go, Andy. See you on the side. See you on that side. Lock in, lock in, lock in. It's crazy times. Yeah, you should be able to change your school. You should be able to change your school email without it affecting. Sorry for the bother. ¿Para qué tenía esa pregunta for me? And I didn't want to regret not. Yeah, you can change it. It shouldn't affect anything. I don't even know what this means. What does this mean? Does it even mean anything, guys? Like this can change drastically, right? Yes, sir. It's $120 a month. You can cancel anytime. If the price ever goes up, you're grandfathered in at that $120 a month. And if you're making good money, make sure you write it off. Either way, you should be writing it off. If you're separating your business and your personal income. Got my emails popping up in the corner here. Don't do that. Who I got, I ain't telling you. I can't tell you. I got enough haters. Either way you go, you're gonna get some hate. I got enough haters. Who benefits barbers? I don't know, man. My barbers who like them Chinese clippers, they're gonna be real expensive. Donald Trump gets in office. Them tariffs Them Chinese clippers ain't gonna be. Hey, that's funny though. That's funny. It'll definitely affect Tune 45. You know, we have manufacturers in China. I don't know nobody that's looking for a factory job these days. You know what I mean? So that's a tough one, man. I don't like that one. Hey, I like that answer. Barbers benefit themselves. I like that answer. Got to stay on your toes. I didn't know to deposit. That was a mistake that I did before when I had my salon. So, yep, you got to deposit that cash. Buy American. We can't even get people to work at restaurants. People don't want. People are not taking these jobs. Look, you could barely get barbers to spend $200 on a pair of clipper without crying. They race into these Chinese clippers. What do you think is gonna happen when everything's made here? If everything's made here, come on now, come on now. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know if it's gonna work the way people think it's gonna work. The monthly cost is $120 a month. $120 a month. But the ROI, bro, you won't even notice that 120. The ROI, you won't even notice that 120, y'all. All right, whatever channel this is boring. Let's go to this one. Bro, technology is crazy. Votes to win. What does this mean right here? Votes to win. Oh, they need 270 votes to win. Trump's at 95. Harris is at 35. She was just at 27. The expo in Australia next year? I don't know. I have no clue. We'll see. Everyone want to be TikTokers. I don't even have a TikTok. He was crying when he had to fork out for some new clippers. It's a write-off. It's part of the business. Hey, first time caller. First time caller.
Sounds so good. Can I please have one of everything? Let's do a tour of the place. I love
10x ROI for the mentorship. Come on now. Talk to me. Davey, talk to me. I saw y'all was doing business. I saw Pete's story. Y'all was getting it in. Got the team going. I love it, man. Love to see it. My opinion on the election, bro. This is a scary election. I did you guys watch the Elon Musk Joe Rogan interview? Joe Rogan's been a Democrat his whole life, so which is crazy to see that he endorsed Trump. But I get his angle. His angle, like, it's crazy that Kamala was not elected to be in her position. She won't talk to nobody. I just, it's like they're running off of people being so scared of Trump being in office that they're staying out the way and hoping that Trump just ruins it for himself. I don't like that type of race. I don't like that type of race. So, you know, I wish she would have done that interview with Joe Rogan, but she only wanted to do it if it was 45 minutes. That interview would have broke the internet, but she didn't want to do it, and I think that was a big mistake. I think that was a big mistake. I got you. I think you're in the mentorship. So look, like, we got the tax playbook right here. You're going to learn so much just from this that you're going to have the conviction when it comes time to hire somebody to get the help that you need from the professionals. You're going to have the conviction because you're going to learn so much once we drop this course. So you guys can see it. It's in the classroom. It's in draft right now. I've been working hard on it. So once it's out, you guys will love it. And by the way, I haven't updated it yet, but we'll be making some updates here. These are getting edited by Georgie right now. Where's Georgie? So you guys can see Georgie's going to be working on this new video for for Google Ads. Sorry. Damn. Hey, get them FX1s, yeah. Can't wait till it's out. I definitely need this. Yes, sir. The mentorship is evolving, guys. It's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun in here. Loving how the community is growing. Look at this. So Dre told everybody, reminding everybody, nurture your clients. As Thanksgiving approaches, send out them text campaigns, them email campaigns. And David did it. And look what happened with David. 22 appointments the day before Thanksgiving and 10 for Thanksgiving Day. I plan to do 27 cuts that Wednesday, 12 Thanksgiving Day, and open up Monday and Tuesday as well. He's already booked for Thanksgiving because he's doing the work. He's doing the work. Some of you guys haven't even thought about Thanksgiving haircuts yet. This guy's already booked for it. He's prepared. He knows what's going to happen. And he's going to make the most out of it. Love it, man. Love it. It's a different level of doing business in here. Bro, I would never want that job. We can talk. Listen, we talk a lot of shit about politicians, man. But bless their hearts. Why would you ever want that job? I don't want that job, bro. Ever. Ever. There's no rewards with that job. There ain't no awards. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Okay. Would you charge extra on Thanksgiving week? On Thanksgiving Day? Yes. But if I work those days regardless, I ain't charging extra for that. That's crazy. Who am I voting for? I'm voting for none of your damn business. I'm just kidding. But I'm not. All right. Let's see what Ben Shapiro. Crazy. Why is everybody reporting different shit? Everybody's reporting different things. What's going on? Who's this? Devory Dawkins. You talking too much, Devory. ABC. What ABC talking about? Turkey or prime rib? I'm going if it's good. If it's good, if it ain't dry, I'm going with turkey. It just can't be dry. You know what I'm saying? Really? What the hell? Why is everybody's numbers so different? Hey, Kamala catching up. Kamala's catching up, babe. It's gonna be close. Every single one I click have got different numbers. Oh, I like PBD. PBD be pissing people off though. Damn, the numbers are crazy. They keep changing. See, why are these numbers so low compared to everybody else's? They got Kamala at 27, but I've seen 33. I've seen, and maybe I don't understand this shite. Damn, Tucker Carlson is in Mar-a-Lago. That boy, hey, he came up. He came up. 164,000 people. 100,000. 103,000. Megan Kelly's bigger than Tucker Carlson? I thought Tucker Carlson was bigger than Megan Kelly.
In the average restaurant. This is my first time being here. I'm actually loving it. Let's see what's on the menu. Okay, we have appetizer, spinach and artichoke dip.
Put captions on. Yeah, captions on. Yeah. Florida. Trump got Florida. Damn, Pennsylvania is not messing with Trump whatsoever. Look at me. I can't even get a haircut. Is Tyson fighting? Is that happening? No. Is that happening?
I think I will be having the spinach and artichoke dip.
Okay, I'll go and grab that for you. Thank you so much.
All right, I need to look at my ads real quick. Oh, on the 15th in Texas. That's going to be crazy. Who you got? Sky Dweller or Prezi? Man. I don't know. I don't know nothing about them. I like watches. I don't like them that much. That's decent ROAS. Yesterday was shit. We had pretty much a 10x. Shout out to these ads. Ads are printing. Oh, I gotta do the Performance Max ads, but I can't do it while I'm live. Cannot do it while I'm live. Trump went up some more. 105.27. How many people on this live? Damn, 444,000 on this one. This is the one I need to watch. Everybody on this one. Invest instead of what? Instead of watches? How much? Let's see. What are these values going? Let's see. Watch values tracker. That's what I want to see, because I know during the pandemic these things was up and now they down, real down. This is insane. There are market indexes. There's market indexes. This is an amazing website, by the way. The fact that this website even exists and it's this nice, incredible. Track your collection. They even have a marketplace. Look, they got watches for sale. This is an incredible website. I didn't even know this website existed. But this is incredible. And they're going to make so much money, this website. I would buy from here. As long as there's a... how does it work? No transaction fees. Price transparency. Yeah, you'll never overpay. That's the thing. You never know what these watches cost. Get verified. Oh, I would buy from here. Now, see, this is different. Now I feel like I'm not gonna get ripped off. I start working with these guys. How you gonna list a watch but no picture? Yeah, Nisi. You just need to invest in the tried and true. I got you. Don't worry. The tried and true. An index fund, some real estate here and there, and a business. Those three things, you will build wealth. You will build wealth. You don't need to get fancy. Don't gotta do crypto. Ain't gotta do infinite banking. Ain't gotta do a trucking company, Amazon automation, drop shipping, wholesaling. Ain't gotta do none of that. Just the tried and true. The S&P 500 or some type of index fund. So you're in the markets. You got some liquidity. You got some equity in the markets that are liquid. Some real estate, long term. You know what I mean? You can house hack your way to a few properties and let somebody pay them off for you. And business. A business is going to be your cash flow machine. It's going to be your compounding machine that's going to buy you even more real estate and more stocks. Look at this. $344,000. Man, get your butt out of here. 150. Get your butt out of here. They are crazy. This ain't bad for the Cartier. The Cartier for $58.50. It's not bad. That's actually not bad at all. Oh, it says high. What in the world? See, I don't know shit about watches. Got no business. See, this is. I know there's $7,000 to $10,000. That's why I thought 5,900 wasn't bad, but apparently it is. Shout out to this site because they got a whole bunch of them here listed. But look, these. I don't know. But this is a fire website. I'm about to send this to my wife. Hey, first time caller. What's up, Ben? Too close to call. 105 to 30. Tennessee, Trump getting Tennessee. I need to go to the gym, man. I'm slacking on the gym. Kamala's gonna win. It's hey, anything is possible. Guatemala, salúdame. ¿Qué es lo que es? Get my Dominicans. Los Dominicanos. Man, this is crazy, bro. It's kind of... These next 4 years are going to be interesting. Because this is... I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting next 4 years. Did y'all watch Elon Musk's interview? Can I get a reply, a yes or a no? Did y'all watch that interview? That interview was incredible. And I'm halfway through it. I want to put it on. Louis, who do I think is gonna win? Bro, I don't know, man. It's the tightest. It's just as tight to me, man. It's tight, bro, because I see so many people with both, representing both. And And here's the thing with Kamala, I don't feel like anybody's actually rooting for Kamala. Nobody elected her. She just got pushed in. They just don't want Trump that bad. And so, is the hate for Trump still as strong as it was before? Because if so, man, it's interesting. It's interesting. Nisi, Canada, that's gone downhill too. I love the people in Canada. Don't get me wrong. I was in Montreal earlier this year. I had a blast, and just the people are so kind, so nice. Except that my car got broken into, and the other rental car got stolen. But I mean, like the good people are very, very nice. And then Toronto's always lit. I'll be in Toronto in January. But the government's a little weird. The taxes are crazy, but the people are dope. Like amazing culture, so diverse. Just an amazing group of people. It's just the government's been a little weird over there. And we'll be back. I'll be back in Toronto for the Toronto Barber Expo. Yeah, I went to Tremblant. Went skiing with the family. It was a blast. I'll definitely tap in, bro. I want to visit some shops or whatever and see the city. I was only in Montreal for like a day and a half. We were in Tremblant for 6 or 7 days, I think. Yeah, I don't know why people be acting like. I don't know why people be acting like you should trust the count. Like I don't trust the count. Just in Florida, there were a mailman dumped all his mails because of votes. This happened in Florida. Dumped all the mail. Man, Montreal is a vibe. That's what I was saying when I went. Bro, you go into the coffee shop, amazing music. You go into a donut shop, the music, the vibes, everything was just dope. But don't park your car in public parking. They will break into that thing, okay? That's dope. To learn French, that's dope. That is dope. That's one thing I wish I would have done when I was younger is travel more. But like early on when you're more of a sponge and you can learn new languages and stuff, All right, I'm gonna let you guys want to finish this. Anyone know nothing valuable in it? They just knew it was a rental and they got all our luggage, skis and all that shit. But you couldn't see it, They just broke into it and grabbed it. Yeah. So Rich, the Hertz, the manager at Hertz said they be stealing their Dodge Durangos. They gotta park them, lock them up. They gotta move them from the garage because they be stealing the Dodge Durangos. Yes, I rented it. It was a Durango. They said, bro, they be stealing the Durangos inside of the airport parking lot from Hertz. Crazy. Hey, the passport, man, when you get them stamps, it's going to be addicting, Crochet. But use points. Please be smart and use points. Okay? All 7 passengers. That's true. They knew that the odds of getting some valuables go up, right? 7 passengers. I don't know. Maybe that's stupid, but that's what I'm thinking. Maybe if I was a criminal, that's probably what the logic I would have. This is kind of how I felt with during school games. Just come on, push, let's go. School games was fun. Appreciate it. Really? Send them to the Middle East? Yeah, I heard because the port is right there. It's gone in an hour. That's what I was told. Yeah. I'm gonna put on that. Who the hell are these people? I want to finish that. Oh, me Kevin. I like me Kevin. He Kevin be having game, man.
Carolina keeps spreading. You're now at 23% in. 6% for where Charlotte is, 6% for North Carolina's Raleigh, Wake County. So still have the big cities to ballot dump.
What up, what up?
Then you're looking at...
Man, I ain't gonna say
North
it.
Carolina's called Virginia. Trump still
I got enough hate.
lead, 3.4% lead now. Trump, Ohio. Okay.
You are seeing a concentration likely coming from the suburbs, which is leaning more to Harris.
There's something else I see very quickly, and I see it in Virginia. Remember, this is the first presidential election since Glenn Youngkin was elected over Terry McAuliffe on the issues of wokeness and education and just really post-COVID policies.
Appreciate that, Rich.
These school board elections. I think we're having a parents' rights renaissance in this country that continues.
All right, whatever. Okay, let's go back to this right here.
Why me Kevin went in like that?
Pennsylvania leans. No, you need Virginia or North Carolina. This is looking Trump right now. I mean, he's got the edge in North Carolina. He's got the edge in Virginia. Even if you give Pennsylvania to Harris, with Wisconsin and Michigan going Harris, and her losing Nevada and Arizona, this is looking Trump. Now, if he lost North Carolina, that would flip.
I'm
it back to
surprised
Harris.
New Mexico.
So North Carolina, Virginia.
Maybe
Penn,
I don't know shit about
that's
New Mexico,
all
but
that
it's so
matters
close to the
right now.
border.
These
I don't
three
know.
states. I mean, obviously Trump has to hold Ohio, which now he's got a 3.4% lead. I mean, everybody expects him to get Ohio. 13% now Pennsylvania, still leading for Harris. But it doesn't matter because Trump's lead keeps expanding in North Carolina. Now, what if she gets Virginia? Well, if she gets Virginia, she ekes out a win.
Whoa, that's crazy.
But
Virginia's
right
gonna
now,
be.
Trump is leading, and it keeps going up in Virginia. And you've got the big... Well, you don't have Richmond yet. Richmond still hasn't ballot dumped. So
Damn,
all of a
Virginia
sudden,
about to be
you
big.
could go from 6% for the Richmond area to 40%, and then this just swings right to Harris. Harris needs Pennsylvania and Virginia, or Pennsylvania and
let's
North
do that.
Carolina.
Nisi, good idea.
And then you got to
let's
show
watch
up
that.
in Wisconsin and Michigan. But this is tight. Harris now projected the winner in Virginia. Well, who did that?
What?
Decision Desk projected that? Oh, well, that didn't change anything.
It's so stressful. Yo, it really is that close, guys. It's so close. It's gonna be up to like Virginia, I guess.
Companies,
This was
Toyota,
such a dope
they've
interview.
stayed essentially mostly hybrid, but all these other companies, they're all putting out these electric cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that the right architecture, environmental or not, for cars is actually electric. It's just like the acceleration's better. You can just charge it at home. I mean, like imagine if you had a gasoline-powered cell phone. It'd be a pain in the ass.
Right.
You know.
That'd be so. Go to the gas station.
Go to the gas station.
Charge
Pull
up
up
your cell phone. That's a great. Speaking of cell phones,
gas stations are awful. Like, who wants to go to the gas station?
how much thought have you? Because there's always these rumors, and I've contacted you about this before. But there's always these fucking YouTube videos where they're talking about a Tesla phone, that releasing a Tesla phone.
No, we're not doing a phone.
Have you ever thought about it?
I mean,
Yes,
we could
the
do a
satellite.
phone since like we like the operating system in the Tesla. It's Linux based, but we've written a massive amount of software on top of that. So, like probably Tesla's in a better position to create a new phone that's not Android or iPhone than maybe any company in the world. But
Oof,
it's
that
not
boy
something
different,
we
man.
want to do unless we have
How can
to.
you hate
What would
this
be
man, bro?
the situation where you would have to?
Well, I think if Apple and Google / Android started doing really bad things like, I don't know, like censorship of apps, or I don't know, just treating people like just being like gatekeepers, that in a really bad way, then I guess would make a phone.
I've tried so many times to break loose.
You guys got
the
to
Apple
hear.
ecosystem.
Fancy dinners.
You guys got to hear. Let's not watch the whole thing. You guys got to hear the Diddy part when they start talking about Diddy. Bro, I have a Model 3. I got a Model X. I got a Cybertruck, and I put a down payment for the semi truck. I'm a Tesla fan, and it's so funny like hearing people talk about Teslas that've never had one, never owned one. They have no clue how amazing these vehicles are. They're freaking amazing. They honestly, like, it's just an amazing vehicle. Is it the most luxurious? Is it the best interior? No, of course not. But they're fast as shit. The whole electric things that like I guarantee you there are more gas vehicles that light up on fire on the side of the highway that don't get no news coverage. But anytime it happens to a Tesla, it does. And then people try to paint this picture that these EVs are less safe than the gas powered cars. And I think both of them should exist. I think the ideal situation is to have one of each. Because I can tell you when the hurricane happened, if you had an EV, you were straight. You were blessed. My truck is a generator. It's a big ass generator. It could power a house. Not just that, but I wasn't fighting over gas. There wasn't no long lines, at the pump, at the Tesla charge station. We had no issues. And I could drive across America. No problems. During road trips, you're going to spend 20 minutes. By the time you go use the bathroom, gas station, grab some food, 20, 30 minutes is gone anyways. But anyways, like, people have no idea how ahead of the curve Tesla is. I just keep buying stock because it's not just a freaking car company, guys. It's such an amazing company based on the leadership, right? I wanted to go to Joe Rogan's clips instead of the actual entire interviews, so that's what I'm gonna do. Clips. The new one with 20 people. You talking about the robo taxi? Crazy. But the semi truck gonna be crazy. I don't know when the hell we're gonna get it. We put that down payment like 2-3 years ago when it came out. I think it was 10 grand we had to put down. Good night, puppy. Love you. Damn. The weed amendment did not pass, and neither did the abortion one. That's crazy. I thought one of those was gonna pass.
Martina, go to bed.
What? When I drove to Miami last December for my birthday. Either that or you didn't know how to use it. Did you rent it? You probably didn't know how to use it. I use my Tesla. I put the destination and it tells me where to stop. And to go from Tampa to Miami, you stop twice. But for like a 20-minute charge and a 15-minute charge.
Hey, why is Penny getting heavy? You right? Penny's getting heavy.
Yeah, she is.
Alright? Penny's getting heavy.
My bad, guys.
Don't bother her. Penny. Come.
No, that's not it. Where are the shorts? Oh, there they go. JRE clips.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
I'm live. Yeah. Why? What happened?
I was trying to get on YouTube TV, but it was signing you up. I can't. You have to.
Oh, you're saying?
You have to scan it on your phone. It's okay. I'm just rushing.
All right. Where's the Elon ones? This one was crazy. Listen to this.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
And it's meant to be that you're roasting the president. Like, Trump's just there. He's like, actually, he's like there as part of the support. And then they turned it around and just started roasting Trump. And he's just sitting there. He's like, yo, I just came to the dinner. I'm just here to support.
We know what it was because of, right? The birther stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what it all was. It was all, Trump was at the head of a lot of these people spreading this rumor online that Obama's birth certificate was forged, then he's actually from Kenya. And what's weird is, if you go back to Obama's early days, there are some things that say he's from Kenya. Like, I think in his, something from college said he was from Kenya. But, that could just be, people print things wrong all the time. It doesn't mean he's actually from Kenya. But Trump was one of those guys that was like spreading that supposedly false rumor.
Was he pushing it hard? This is the kind of thing where I want to just go and look at saying what did he actually say?
No, he definitely was.
Okay.
He was definitely saying, look, I don't think he has the time to go into things like very deeply.
Yeah.
And so I think he could probably be influenced by a bunch of people, like these Marjorie Taylor Greene type people who come to him with some wild ass theory.
Sure.
He might be, and I think there's a lot of that stuff that gets fed to people on purpose so that they'll say incorrect things so that they're easy to dismiss. Sure. And I think there's also a lot of people that just make shit up and, they tell you the earth is flat and then a bunch of people watch a YouTube video and they believe it.
Yeah, well, but on that White House Correspondents' Dinner, I was there, and the degree to which they attacked Trump at that White House Correspondents' Dinner was really, it was so over the top. It was like making everyone uncomfortable.
Really?
It was really over the top. I think like sort of a passing joke of like, a few passing jokes are fine, but they twisted the knife big on Trump in that, and you could see Trump just getting like angrier and angrier and more upset.
I wonder if
it's like, man, this is not good karma, That's what I was thinking at the time. I was two tables away from Trump, and I'm looking at him like, man, this is too much,
Well, it's kind of crazy what they made out of that, because that's the kind of guy that if you tell him he can't do something, he's going to just keep trying. Like
it was a big mistake to rag on him so much at that White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Well, just look at the way they've attacked him with just using the legal system, like this thing in New York where the 34 different felony counts that were essentially misdemeanors, that there are bookkeeping errors that they decided, even though it passed the statute of limitations, they decided to try him for these. They didn't identify a felony.
Abuse of the law is what's going on.
But most people would have quit.
Yeah.
Most people, after the E. Jean Carroll lawsuit and this lawsuit and all the other ones, the insurrection thing, the Georgia thing, all these different things, they getting kicked off of Twitter. Most people would have just like, this is too much. I can't take this. But he's so fucking crazy. He's like, all right, come on, we're going to war. And he just digs his fucking heels in and keeps going.
Yeah.
It's the wrong guy to do that to.
It
just
is the wrong
like
guy to do that to.
attacking him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, most people would have been humiliated. He got angry. And he's like, yeah, all right. You say I can't be president? I've been thinking about running for about 15 fucking years.
Right.
Finally, I'm going to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a real bad move. But yeah, I mean, I can certainly understand like making some jokes about like, you know, a few sort of passing jokes on Trump. But man, I was there at that dinner and that they ragged on Trump so much it was insane.
The reason why I would push back on that, because I would say there's a bunch of different speakers, right? And Trump would obviously be a target. And if they all attacked him, it's because he's like, if you're going to make fun of people in the audience, and especially in the zeitgeist, that whole birther thing was big.
Yeah.
And most people were dismissing it as being a ridiculous conspiracy theory. So who the fuck is this guy saying this?
Sure.
And so you have 8 to 10 individual speakers that are writing monologues. Of course, they're all going to hit Trump.
Yeah, well, anyway, obviously it was a mistake. They shouldn't have done that. But like, I like, you know, invite people to watch the original source material, and I think a few jokes are fine. You know, it's like, but it's like he shouldn't be it felt like he was the primary object of the roast.
Yeah.
Which is that's not the whole point of the thing. Is it's a roast of the president, not a roast of the audience.
The thing about it is like he's easy to roast.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, Obama was like loved and cherished by the left.
Yes.
And most of those people are on the left. There's only so far you can push. You know, you can't ask him about his chef. You know, there's like what happened with the chef, bro?
Yeah.
You can't. There's like certain things you can't bring up.
You want to? What's your favorite sport? Paddleboarding?
Yeah. Wasn't that guy a really good swimmer?
Yeah.
Tell me what happened.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
You can't bring that up.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna roast Hillary, you can't bring up the death count.
Like Hillary, what's the best way to stay in touch? Email?
Yeah, it's if you're doing one of those
she
things.
destroyed the servers and poured like bleach on the servers, like computers.
She poured bleach on them?
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I believe. That's
Wow.
like it wasn't just like they took a hammer to it. They like destroyed like there was no possible way to actually get forensics on the thing.
What was in there? I mean,
Well,
what?
Like that's what I mean.
What was in there? What was in there?
Why would they care so much?
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
And
is
there was
crazy.
there was no legal action against that, which is clear destruction of evidence.
Well, it's also there's this other narrative that always drives me crazy is that he's going to destroy democracy. So in order to destroy democracy, we have to install a president without a primary.
Right.
We have to have a candidate that is the least liked vice president of all time, the least popular vice president of all time, and then use gaslighting and the full force of the media machine to turn her into the future. And hope,
Right.
and then she's gonna be changed, even though she's a sitting vice president. And then on top of that, this idea of change when the Democrats have been in control for what, 12 of 16 years,
Right.
Which is crazy. Like this is the change.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I view this election as a turning point, like a fork in the road of destiny that is incredibly important. You know, I've not been politically active until this election, and the reason I've been politically active this election is because I think if we don't elect Trump, I think we will lose. We will lose democracy in this country. We will lose the two-party system. And let me explain why. So there's only like six or seven swing states. The margin of victory in those states is small, often like 10 or 20,000 votes. What the Democrat administration has been doing is importing vast numbers of illegals into swing states. You can look at the numbers on the actual government website, meaning you don't take my word for it. You can just look at the numbers as reported by the government, which is controlled by the Democrats. And what we're seeing is triple-digit increases in the number of illegals in every swing state. In some cases, 700% increases. These are gigantic numbers. So if you have a state that has a 10 or 20,000 vote margin, and you put 200,000 illegals into that state, you 10x you swamp the. It's not a swing state anymore. it's going to vote blue. And then once the swing states vote blue, there is no election anymore. There's only a Democrat primary.
Which is so crazy. And it's so crazy that people are fine with that.
Well, I guess people on the left will be fine with that because they think that's a good idea.
They just want to win. They just want to win.
Correct. Like the thing is, one does not need actually any grand conspiracy theory for this. You just have to look at the simple matter of incentives. If the Democrat Party wants to win, like basically achieve permanent victory, all they need to do is turn the swing states. Turn the swing states blue. They have permanent victory. And then we're a one-party state, and then they will keep doing that. Obviously, they will keep stacking the deck by bringing in vast numbers of illegals into the swing states. Keep stacking it so that the next election, each successive election, will be worse than the last one. And that's what's happening. If you want to see, like, well, is this actually going to happen? Well, look at California. California is supermajority Dem, 70% Dem. A month ago, they passed a law making it illegal to show ID in any election in California. So a friend of mine went to vote in Palo Alto because he was like, "Is this for real?" He tried to show his ID, and they reacted like if you show a cross to a vampire. Okay, they're like, "No, we can't even look at that ID." It is illegal for them to even look at your ID if you want to present it in California.
Why?
For any election at all, even like city council.
What logical reason other than to cheat would you ever have that law?
The reason is to cheat.
But the only like you can never make an argument any other way. And I think 84% of people polled believe that you should show ID to vote. So it's against the will of the people.
Yes.
Can y'all help me understand that one? Why is it okay for people to vote without an ID? And let's say that's okay. So why are we required for ID for so many other things? And why is that okay? Like, why is that okay, but some of the other things that require ID, are not okay? Like, are okay or not okay? Like, I'm not following that part right there.
We are extreme.
Nobody finds that weird. Nobody finds that weird.
Extremely rare. We're an outlier in not requiring ID. Basically, almost every country on earth requires ID to vote. So as soon as you ban ID for voting, it makes fraud impossible to prove. Because how do you trace the fraud?
Right. Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane.
It's insane.
And what I'm saying is that
how is it legal?
What I'm saying is, like, this election is the last chance to preserve democracy in America. Mark my words. Everything they accuse Trump of, they are guilty of. And if Trump doesn't win, this will be the last real election in America. And we will, if the big Kamala puppet machine wins, they will legalize the illegals in the swing states. There will be no swing states. Every election going forward will be a guaranteed Democrat win, and it'll actually be worse than California. The reason it'll be worse than California is because the one thing that keeps California from being super crazy is that you can move out of California, like you and I did. You and I used to be in California.
That's the thing too that's my problem with all of this stuff. Both sides, the Trump side, the Kamala side. There's a huge population of people that they want every single state to be the same. There's a bunch of Republicans and a bunch of Democrats that they want the entire country to run Republican, or they want the entire country to run the way Democrats want. And what I love about America is that every state governs itself. And that's what makes up America. And that's what allows for diversity and for honestly common ground at the end of the day. Like the fact that if I don't like the way Florida's running, I can go to Georgia if I prefer there, or Texas if I prefer there. And I know it sucks, it's an inconvenience, but that's first world problems. There are many countries that have refugees, that it's civil war. You know what I mean? Like, so I get it's an inconvenience, my American people, but the fact that that's even possible is what makes America great. And why people are fighting to change that, to make everything a certain way, that's weird to me. That's weird to me. All right, let's continue. Is that crazy?
We're still in America. But if the Dems win this election, they will legalize enough illegals to turn the swing states, and everywhere will be like California. There will be no escape.
Well, look, somebody said the answer seems obvious. Is it? Because these votes are very close, and the same politicians that allow no ID for voting, they get voted in. So is that the obvious answer? Yes. People shouldn't have an ID. And so if people shouldn't have an ID, why do we have IDs in other avenues, in other places? I don't know. It's been weird, bro. It's been so weird. I don't know what the reason is. That's a great question. What do you think is the reason behind all the deep manipulation the government's response? It's so weird. Like, just the stuff that Elon brought out with, the FBI or the CIA. I can't remember which one he was talking about. That shit's, I don't even understand half of this stuff, but I've never heard so much of this stuff happening so often. So much stuff I don't understand, By the way, guys, November 7th is cutoff for enrollment, 6FB enrollment, y'all. All this is cool. This is fun. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's entertainment. But at the end of the day, we got to look out for ourselves. We can't depend on nobody. We can't depend on government. We can't depend on these politicians. And so you can take control of your life and you can own it. And if anything was to happen, you can leave. You can go to any state you want to. You can have properties in multiple places. You can get multiple visas. It's not about just building wealth. It's about changing your family's life. Is being able to have a better quality of life, to have less stress, to have less worries, to have more resources, to have access to more. Because you never know what's going to happen. Like, I'm 35 years old. I've seen a lot of shit already in 35 years. Damn, I'm scared of World War III. Never in my life did I think this would be what we worried about. Is World War III. But we want to die on the hill of all this drama. It just seems unreal. It seems like a novela, like a soap opera. Meanwhile, there's real wars happening right now. People are dying. It feels like it could be a civil war. It feels like it feels like it could be a civil war. It feels like it could be a world war. I've never felt so much shit going on. The economy's messed up. Like, the last time I felt this was the recession, but that shit was rough. I ain't gonna lie, because we went to war with Iraq, with Afghanistan. My sister was out there fighting. That was scary. She would send me like videos and pictures of like bombs going off by the base. But I was young, so I didn't really understand finances and economy and stuff like that. I wasn't really that impacted by this stuff, because shit, I'm fighting a damn war locally. I'm trying to stay afloat. I'm trying to find food. So I didn't really notice it like I notice it now. Now it's like, man, I don't know, for my people who can relate, that's a good question. For my older people, how do you guys feel in comparison to, the Iraq and Afghanistan war, ISIS, the recession hit us? It was a lot at once. How do you feel that compares to what we're experiencing now? Internal civil war. Facts. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy time. That's another thing. I feel because of social media, maybe it seems worse. Maybe we're seeing more of the manipulation and it's being exposed more. Maybe that's a thing too. But yeah, back to that topic, bro. Build something for you and your family. Something that can outlast recessions, that can outlast. I'm not gonna say all wars, but many wars. If it's a nuclear war, it ain't outlasting that. But do what you can that you're in control of, and that's what we focus on, guys, in the mentorship. We focus on the things that we can control. That's gonna offer our family, our loved ones, our community a better quality of life, right? And so we go through. I'm not teaching you how to fade. You know what I'm saying? If you want to, there's one course down here, but that's all the way at the bottom. I could care less about it. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you on your journey, on your path to freedom, man. Freedom financially, freedom with time, freedom with access, freedom to move and see the world and see there's more to this shit. And you ain't got to depend on this economy. You ain't got to depend on this government. That's where I want y'all to be at, man. I'm too young to speak on the recession. Okay, Corey Duval said times and community was different. COVID played a major part also. We as communities need to stick together more. Who's switching streaming apps like crazy back there? Pick something. Hey man, that's my wife.
I knew somebody was going to say that too.
Hey. Nah, just playing. Shit, y'all got me crying laughing. You guys are petty. Martin, you petty as hell. Man. Have y'all ever read Wealth of Nations? That's literally, that's what scares me about the Trump tariffs. It's like it's against what Wealth of Nations is about. You know what I mean? At least I think, from what I remember, what I understood from it. It's a tough book to understand. You guys want to watch a video on it? Let's watch a video on it. So anyways, I was telling you guys, we're building shit like ads, guys. It doesn't matter what business you're running. If you know how to run profitable ads, you will never run out of money. Okay. Even if like between business credit cards, and knowing how to run ads, and then having one good business that will last the test of times, that you can always, is old faithful. You could always put money in there and know it's going to be good income. You have those boxes checked, man, and you're going to be straight as long as you're consistent and you're disciplined. We're seeing it more now because of social media. Yeah. Real talk, imagine if we had social media during the recession, during the Iraq war, with Afghanistan, with ISIS. Like, they were mailing tapes. They were cutting people's heads off. Man, rest their souls. Horrific things. Mailing the tapes to the news. And that's how we were finding out about it. Bro, today ISIS would have been like, what? I mean, they're still around, don't get me wrong, but they ain't doing what they was doing back then. We was at full out war with them because of the shit they was doing. They still doing it, don't get me wrong, but not like that. The war in Gaza. The war with Gaza and Israel, and even Ukraine and Russia. Guys, we wouldn't have seen that shit, man. We wouldn't have seen that shit because there's plenty of wars that other presidents got us into that didn't meet the light of day, that had crazy casualties like that, innocent people dying over governments fighting with one another over power. Maybe I'm just talking on my ass. I'm not going to pretend to understand why these wars occur. I know they're much more complex than the media or the surface level that we can see, guys. Don't be naive either and think that we know why these wars are happening. And that there's a million variables that could happen for a war like this. You know what I mean? I hope you guys aren't naive on that either. I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of Dubai. It's I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't see myself living there. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Gotta actually spend some time there. But like, I can't see myself living mostly nowhere, if I'm gonna be honest. I could live in Manhattan, but then again, I can't, bro. Them seasons, Dubai, and that weather. They got some strict laws too. I don't like too much government. Although I know it's thriving. It's an amazing, beautiful city. I don't know. It's just I don't know if I like America. I like the way it is. I like the fact that everything ain't perfect. Not everybody wants perfect. There's people that are happy in trailer parks, man. Believe it or not, happy with that shit. People who want to live in the mountains and away from everybody. People who want to, there's, I love the fact that everybody's idea of what success looks like is possible. All right. Anyways, what was I looking up? I wanted to. We were watching this.
This is the final. This is it. This is the last chance.
Has anybody tried to push back?
Go out and vote.
Oh yeah, and then freedom of speech. Aren't we like the only country that has that? Oh no. Is it freedom of speech or is it No, I'm tripping. Countries that have freedom. Excuse my ignorance. I don't know everything. They say generally. It ain't many. It ain't many. The UK definitely don't got freedom of speech. Interesting. Yeah, freedom of press. There's not a lot of them. Isn't that crazy? I don't want to live in a country that don't have freedom of speech, man. You should be able to say the president sucks. You know what I mean?
Vote like your life depends on it. Vote like your future depends on it, because it does. This is the last chance, man.
Is there any argument against this? Has anybody tried to debate this? Has anybody tried to say that this is nonsense? This is a conspiracy? Has anybody made any sort of a rational argument?
The left actually, interestingly, does not want to pick up much on this argument because the more attention the more you look at it, the more obviously it is true. Because you just say like, well, are the numbers correct? Are there really this many illegals that have been imported into swing states? Yes. They haven't just walked across the border. They've been flown in airplanes.
Yeah. Using a shipping app.
Yes.
Yeah.
They made an app.
Well, the app always existed, but it used to be for people coming over here, like shipping with goods, so they could track you while you're in America, so you could legally be here. They know where you are. And then they changed it to allow that app to schedule illegal aliens to come across the border.
Yes.
Asylum seekers.
Yes.
Come on in.
Yes.
Oh, you have an app. And you fly people in.
They're literally being flown in to the swing states. And so the reason that I think left doesn't...
Oh snap! They do have they have an app. I don't know if it's if they being flown in. So the app is true. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. What do you do? We know that there's a lot of women being raped. We know that there's children dying in their mother's hands. What do you do? We all say we want good people to come, but we don't want bad people to come. Does that, like, then the argument is you don't want people cutting in line. Like, there's people who are following the rules. I hate when people cut me in a line. Like, I'm trying to follow all the rules and you just gonna cut in front of me because you want, like, we're all in this. This sucks for all of us. So I get that argument too. It's just, there's no perfect solution here, guys. I would not want this job, man. Everybody got the answers, but it's a lot harder when you're staring at these people in the face when they're your family, when it's tough, man. This is a tough situation. But that is crazy. They got an app. Damn. Oh yeah, look, it's true. They did. They use an app, scheduled a flight. What in the world, bro? They use an app and scheduled a flight. That's true. Damn. Did y'all know that one?
I want to push back on this is because
how y'all feel about that
the more
one?
attention they get, that this gets, the more people will realize it is true.
Yeah, it is true.
That's why they don't. That's why they're just pretending. They're pretending I'm not saying anything. But I'm like, yo, they're literally flying vast numbers of illegals who are then beholden to the Democrats. And sometimes I get the rebuttal of people say like, well, these illegals are they don't have the same social values as the Democrat Party because they're like more socially conservative. I'm like, yeah, but that's not the point. If you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, their primary thing is staying in the country and getting their friends and family in, and then the Democrats give them all these benefits, like tons of benefits, more benefits than than citizens, literally.
Yeah.
They're beholden to the Democrats for all these benefits. They want to get their friends and family in, which the Democrats support and the Republicans don't, so they vote Dem. And you can look empirically at California and say, like, did they vote Republican or Democrat in California? Oh, they voted Democrat. Big time.
Well, Reagan gave them amnesty in the 1980s, and that
86.
changed the state basically, except for Arnold, changed the state entirely blue.
Yes.
And Arnold was an exception because he was like a socially liberal, famous guy.
Yeah.
And, didn't really impose any radical restrictions on any of the people that were going to vote Democrat in the first place. The whole thing is just, it's bizarre to watch play out because it just seems like this can't be actually what's happening. Did you see my conversation with Fetterman about it?
Yeah.
He was completely in denial about it. I don't think there's that level of organization. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Exactly. Just because you can break it down. So like, are any of these numbers wrong? Because we got these numbers from Homeland Security Government.gov. Okay.
Right.
So we got it from the .gov website. Has the government reported these numbers incorrectly? No, they have not. Those numbers, if anything, are low. So they have in fact flown vast numbers of illegals to swing states.
Yeah.
Bypassing the border entirely. And so that is factually true. Then you can say, like, well, what is their probable voting pattern? Overwhelmingly Democrat into swing states. And then, well, but do the Democrats actually want to fast track them for citizenship? Yes, they do. You can see Chuck Schumer on TV saying at a rally this year was saying he wants to fast track and make all 11 million or however many, I believe his quote was, citizens as soon as possible. So the goal is they are fast tracking citizenship as quickly as possible, so whether one thinks it's cheating or not, it won't matter because they will be fully able to vote.
And for people on the left,
this is actually happening. I invite people to rebut this and show me where I am wrong. Please do so.
No, they can't.
They can't.
They can't.
Because it's true.
Well, what's scary to me is that there's people that are on the left, like people that were Bernie Sanders supporters, for example.
Yeah,
like
Bernie
I
got
was.
screwed with talk about undermining democracy. Bernie should have won the nomination,
Exactly.
and they stole it from him and gave it to Hillary.
Exactly. That's what I was going to bring up. Like they control the primary process.
Yeah, exactly. So like if you've got if you have a Democratic primary, it's not democratic. We just saw that. We saw it with Bernie. We saw it with Kamala. That like a week before Biden, was summarily fired, he was posting that he's in it for the long term. He's going.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not giving up. And the next thing you know, Sunday afternoon, they're posting on X that he's resigned from the race.
Which is
and his staff didn't even know. Like
that's the shit that I don't understand why people are just giving like how did this just get kind of brushed over? The fact that they had to have known, and they were lying to the American people that Biden was fine. They had to have known, and they couldn't hide it anymore. And then Kamala, who didn't win during a real election, gets pushed in as vice president. Like it's just, bro, this is the weirdest election ever. The weirdest election ever. It's the weirdest one ever.
They're reading it on the X platform okay, that's how they learned about it.
What do you think happened there?
Am I tripping? Is it not weirder than the Biden-Trump election? I don't remember the Obama-McCain election being this weird.
How do they do that?
Because he's clearly just not in charge, obviously.
They could have used the 25th Amendment,
fake president.
But they would have to admit that there was a certain period of time where they knew that he was
It's a
mentally
soap opera,
compromised.
bro.
Yes.
And so they made this decision to not do that.
Well, the weird thing is that the president's supposed to be the boss.
Right.
And yet he's obviously not the boss.
Right. So who's running the country? If she's busy campaigning, she's so busy she can't do anything.
Here's my thing, too. How do they not know more? Like, Musk has to work with the government really closely. He literally has, he has to with the rockets, with Starlink, with, he has to, right? With SpaceX, the electric vehicles, the AI and stuff. He has to work closely with the U.S. government. How does nobody really know? Like, how does this get so manipulative? It feels like it's so crazy.
Except Saturday Night Live, she did that. She's so busy. She's constantly campaigning. How could you be paying attention to international relations?
Yeah.
How could you be paying attention to the economy? How could you be paying attention to any of those things? How do you have the time? You can't.
Yeah, I mean, Biden being the president's supposed to be the CEO, the chief guy, he was commander in chief. But it just obviously that Biden was not. He was just a puppet. And when the various puppet masters decided that the puppet had.
But I'm saying, like, if they know more, none of them feel like they're in on the plan. You got all these big time people that are going all kinds of directions. Mark Cuban going hard for Kamala, Elon going hard for Trump. You would think they all know the same shit, like, right? What's up, Crispy?
It was no longer useful. They just tossed out the puppet and then got a new puppet with Kamala. I mean, Kamala can't even talk. Now you invited her on your show. I think the most damage that could possibly be done to a campaign is going in your show and seeing what she says in hours 2 and 3.
2 and 3 is when things get
2
spicy.
and 3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God.
That's the thing that, like, I would have liked to have heard her have like a real conversation, for just like Trump did. I would have liked to have seen that. You
can hide for 20
She's gonna
minutes.
melt.
You can hide.
If she gets elected, I hope she does it after she gets elected. It'll put a lot of people at ease if they get to know the real her. I hope. It'll be a positive effect, not a negative one. But I hope she sits down. And that might be what happens. Rogan gets her, if she wins the election, Rogan gets her on the show. And then we can finally see past the whole, the campaign strategies and shit, we'll get to actually see her sit down and speak and show who she is. Because at the same time, bro, like, it's really easy to paint a picture on somebody. It goes both ways, right? It goes both ways.
For 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you can just regurgitate talking points for, half an hour, maybe an hour, just where she's just saying like non sequiturs, but eventually she just runs out of non sequiturs.
Well, they wanted to limit it to an hour.
Exactly. That's why.
But I was thinking of doing it initially before Trump came here. First of all, when they found out that there was a rumor, I never announced that Trump was coming. What I was going to do is just release it. The way I like to do things, I don't like to tell anybody who's coming on. It'll get big no matter what. If Trump was on, it would have been huge. I'm like, just put it out there. People go crazy.
Yeah.
But he apparently, or someone from his organization, some loose lips, and then it got out. And so she contacted my management company, and her organization, her campaign contacted us and said, would Joe have her on? I said yes. And they said she wants you to fly to where she is, and she's only willing to do 45 minutes.
Only 40. I mean, that's
and I was like, oh, no. So I thought about
You're
doing it.
about to go
maybe I can get a sense. Maybe I could convince her. Maybe I could coax her into doing more time. I just wanted to talk to her.
Yes.
Well, I don't give a fuck what we talk about. We talk about recipes. I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
Just talk to me.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Ain't even gotta be. I'm tired of seeing that shit already. Like trying to get the gotchas and all that stuff. Like, I want real interviews with Trump, real interviews with Kamala. Like, I'm tired of the gotcha shits. Like, the debating, the arguing, the controversy. It's all selfish. Let the American people, like, see who these people are, bro. Like,
the things like you just can't, like, you can't just output bullshit non sequiturs for 3 hours.
Right.
But for 45 minutes you could do.
I thought maybe for 45 minutes I could get something out of it. But then when Trump came and did the 3 hours, I was like, you know what? It has to be like this. This is the only way.
To be fair, it's got to be like three hours.
And it should be in this room.
Yes.
Because this room has like a history of people
this room
expressing
has good vibes,
themselves.
actually.
okay. There was something I wanted to put on, and can't remember what it was. Let's get an
who was
update
out
on
the
this election.
airwaves on the issue. And I'm told by some sources familiar with these 10 initiatives happening across the country, they're hopeful in Nebraska. Why? You had Pete Ricketts lean into the issue. So that might be a lesson that's instructive moving forward to the party. You've got to speak on this issue because hiding from it thus far has not worked.
Wow, look at Polymarket for Pennsylvania, folks. Who will win Pennsylvania? Look at this change in just the last few hours here. Actually, just like the last hour, frankly. Skyrocketing chance for Donald Trump. The Needles, 286. And if I go here... Oh! What happened?
Virginia went
Decision
blue.
Desk just dropped Trump from 70 to 64.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Getting tight.
Interesting. So, not really sure what happened there. Did we just have a vote dump? Wisconsin, Harris now in the lead, 3%. Only a 6% lead in Pennsylvania. The nail biter. Yeah, why Decision Desk just moved Trump down 5%? I'm not sure. I thought this was over. And man, I kind of want it to be over.
Jesse, you're a real one.
It's been 7.5 hours.
Jesse,
but it's okay.
I rock
did
with you,
10
bro.
on J6.
Yeah, you're a real one. All right, let's see. What's this is probably a good explanation. That's 16 minutes. That's all right. Let's watch it. Oh, I love this guy. All right, so Swedish investor. I actually paid him for consulting. So he is a great investor. He has documented 20% returns for like the last 10 years or something like that. And he taught me how to invest in how to he taught me how to evaluate a company, a public company, and how he does it. and how much he should put into it, all that. And we got on the phone. We did consultation. Very cool dude. The fact that he even spends his time still willing to do that with 1 million subscribers. Matter of fact, I'm about to tap in with him because he needs to do a school. But, you know, he taught me a lot of my investing strategies in the stock market. And one of the ways that I found him was because I was listening to the audiobook Wealth of Nations, because I heard it from another guy that said it's a must read if you want to understand how, you know, because I always want to, like, you guys never think about that? Like, how do, and I didn't do good in school. I didn't pay attention. I skipped school, bro. I probably, yeah, I didn't do good in school. So these types of things fascinate me. So I'll just be thinking about real life stuff. And I'm like, yo, how do these nations do this? Like, what sets, you know, Burundi apart from America? Like, what's going on here, right? And so Wealth of Nations is something I wanted to learn. So let's check it out.
Adam Smith was a Scottish economist, philosopher, and author, and a very successful one at that. His masterpiece, The Wealth of Nations, was released in 1776 and was at that time considered very controversial, but it has laid out the groundwork for pretty much all economics since. Smith is often referred to as the father of economics, or the father of capitalism, for good reasons. The Wealth of Nations' main message is probably that we must...
That was another thing. I wanted to understand, like, capitalism's arguments, Marxist arguments. I wanted to understand all those arguments because it's fascinating. It's something that a lot of people who make decisions in this world, it's their ideology.
Trust in incentives. Adam Smith was a pragmatist who knew that people will always act in their own self-interests, and therefore every economic policy introduced
That's a fact.
must always take that into account. Secondary and tertiary effects must always be considered. A society can do no better than to set up the correct incentives so that humans...
I'm sorry to do this, but that just hit a nail on the head why I think my businesses do well. I know people are going to do what's in their best interest. I know that, as they should. They teach you to put the life vest on before you go help your kids. If everybody just did that, there'd be way more peace, less chaos, and more lives would be saved, right? But then we have people who don't want you to do that. They want you to, you know, go try to help somebody before your life vest is on. And what we got to do is make sure everybody's life vest, that they know how to operate their life vest. Everybody has a life vest, but we got to make sure they know how to operate it. That's why when you're first in the airplane, that's the first thing they do before we take off. We don't do that anymore in this country. We just giving life vests without any explanation, without telling people anything, how to manage it, how to turn that thing on, how to, you know, the blueprint to it. And so I realized that if you want a successful business, you have to know that most people are going to try to save their own lives first, and they should. And so if that's the truth, then you have to make sure that you're serving these people as if their goals is a priority. And the thing is, as long as you can set up systems and design it in a way where it's a win-win situation as much as possible, you'll have infinite scale. I realize that might be, it's hard to explain, I guess, what I'm thinking. Hopefully you guys are following along. I can get all over the place sometimes. But I guess essentially what I'm saying is, like, if as long as you're thinking about somebody else's goals first, and it's synergistic to what your goals are, that's what matters most. And so I don't have to, it don't have to be a specific way. And there's a great, Danny says this, I think the best. He goes, whether you're going northwest or going northeast, as long as we're going north, we're good. It's if you want to go southwest, then we probably shouldn't work together, right? Because that's just too far apart. And as long as you're able to, people want to hire people who only go north, who go perfectly north. That's not duplicatable. That's not scalable. That doesn't last, right? Just nobody can just go north. Everybody's journey is like this. Anyways, sorry, that was way off topic.
Act in the best way possible. This is a top 5 takeaway summary of The Wealth of Nations, written by the father of economics, Adam Smith. And this is the Swedish Investor, bringing you the best tips and tools for reaching financial freedom through stock market investing. Who apparently also likes to go off topic sometimes and talk economics.
Me too.
Well.
Perfect.
Takeaway number 1. Productivity is king. The people of a nation will be better supplied with all the products and services that they have occasion for if one or two of the following happens. First, an increase in the number of people who have a job compared to those who don't. And secondly, an increase in the productivity of those jobs. This could be said to increase their wealth. It depends much more on the latter than the former. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors were employed, all of them. Every day, everyone had the job of catching food for themselves. Yet, today, even the poorest people of a Western civilization are wealthier than the kings and queens from those times. Consider this story.
Y'all get that? I was just talking about that earlier.
Yet,
listen to
today,
that part again.
Even the poorest people of a Western civilization are wealthier than the kings and queens from those times. Consider this story. A man was handed the task of inspecting the construction of a waterway in a certain communistic land. When he arrived at the site, he saw 1,000 people digging with spades, while great digging machines stood idle nearby. He asked the manager of the project, "Why don't you use the machines over there instead?" "Well, sir, that's because these people would be unemployed in no time." The inspector thought about this for a minute, and then returned home. The next day, he went back to the site.
I don't remember this in the book, but think about that. That's the logic people have today. People don't ever lose that logic, right? In that, for example, damn, they're going to replace all these cashiers with computers. That's messed up. That's messed up. Like, you don't, like, that's just that's always been part of life, number one. Number two, like, sure, these jobs are gone, but that doesn't mean they're not replaced with new jobs. You're going to need more engineering jobs are created for this. People who need to operate these machines, mechanics for these machines, people who produce the parts for these machines. More jobs are created, and they're actually jobs that people prefer over digging ditches manually. I'd rather be driving this, or fixing it, or producing the tires for it, or installing the tires for it. Like, I'd rather be doing that than digging ditches in the sun all day. But people have this logic, and I get it, because it's hard to see past it when you're in it. You know what I mean? It's very difficult, and it sucks. It's very inconvenient, but it's fascinating how there's so many variables that are going on here.
And went straight to the manager. He handed him a spoon. "Why don't you use 1,000 of these instead?" To the wealth of a nation, productivity is king. It is improved by 3 factors primarily: dexterity or skill in doing something, avoiding loss of time, changing from one task to another, and proper use of machinery. The 2 first factors come from the division of labor. Instead of having everyone in a society doing everything themselves, we should each do what we are best at, and then trade products and services with each other. The greater the extent of this trade, or the greater the market, the greater the possible division of labor, and thereby the greater the productivity. Just think about all the specialized products and services that we exchange with each other in a great city. You would probably not find a store like this one in a small country village, but in the great city of New York, you can. The division of labor increases as transportation is improved. Adam Smith gives an example from his experience in the 18th century. 6 to 8 men can, by water carriage, transport the same amount of goods in the same time with a single ship, as 100 men with 50 broad-wheel wagons and 400 horses. This is why rivers and seacoast towns often develop faster. They allow a greater division of labor as they extend the market of trade. So, ships were much better than horses. But I think that Adam Smith would be jealous if he looked at us today. Because now, we have Amazon.
See, we was just talking about all of this. About quality of life that happens because of these. Like, would you rather the alternative? Bro.
Takeaway number 2. Money. What is it and why do we use it? When the division of labor is established, every man supplies himself with but a small amount of the goods that he actually needs. Instead, he participates in exchanging. But in the beginning, it must have been very inefficient to try to trade with one another, when supply and demand didn't always match. Hey Frankie, look at this nice spear that I just created. Could I get some of that tasty meat that you have if I give you my spear? No deal, Bob. I already have like 10 spears. But I could use a pound of salt. Hey Randy, look at this nice spear that I just created. Could I get like a pound or 2 of your salt if I give you my spear? No deal, Bob. You know that I'm too old to go hunt these days. But I could use a new shirt. Hey George, look at this nice spear that I just created. Could I get a shirt if I give you my spear? Yeah, of course, Bob. I'll be happy to trade a spear for a shirt. Nice. Oh, but I think that one spear is probably worth more than one shirt. How many shirts have you got? I only have one shirt to spare at the moment, unfortunately. Well, then, no deal, George. This was quite inconvenient, to say the least. Enter money. Money facilitates the exchange of commodities that we produce.
You can
to get back
cancel
to the first
anytime,
takeaway,
and you locked in
one can say that
at
they
120.
increase the productivity of exchange. Quite early, metals were used as money, and they have at least 2 qualities which make them suitable for this purpose. They basically do not perish, and they can be divided into many parts and then fused again. Some things have value in use, like spears, meat, salt, and shirts. Other things have value in exchange, like bills, coins, and medals. That which has high value in one often is quite worthless from the other standpoint. You can't use a dollar bill for anything. I mean, you can't eat it or anything. Similarly, a spear might be quite useful, but it doesn't work well for exchange, as we just saw. As long as people trust that money can be exchanged for something else that they are in need of later, they are happy to trade their own produce for that money. It all boils down to that. Trust. Warren Buffett has said that it is quite misleading that on the backside of every dollar bill it says, "In God we trust." Because what it should actually say is, "In the Federal Reserve we trust." Takeaway number 3. The 3 components of price. The real price of everything is its price in labor. Something that takes more time, energy, or resources to bring up often has a higher real price. Bob didn't want to make that final deal with George because he thought that his spear had a higher real price than Bob's shirt. However, there's also a nominal price, and that is the price as measured in money. Because it's difficult to measure and compare labor, we've come to estimate real prices in terms of money instead. The price of everything that is produced resolves itself into either one or more of the following 3 components. A wage, to pay the labor who did the work. A profit, to pay for the capital that was laid out for the work to happen. And a rent, to pay the holder of the land where the work and or exchange must take place.
I like the way they put that.
We all know that wages can differ a lot between different occupations. Just look at the average salary of a McDonald's cashier and compare that to the salary of a neurosurgeon. Similarly, profits differ from industry to industry, but not as much, and also they should average out over time, something that we'll get to later. These are the average profits measured as return on equity for different industries during the period 1999 to 2019. And the factor that can differ the most is, of course, rents. In New York, for example, you'll have to pay about $5.2 million per acre of land, while in the country village of Eksjö in Sweden, you'll pay only about $20,000. How much you have to pay to buy land correlates well with how much rent you can get for it. Because of this, the proportions that make up the price of a certain product or service differs a lot depending on its type and where it is bought. A massage, for example, costs $60 an hour in the previously mentioned Eksjö, while it costs $105 an hour on Manhattan in New York. The difference in price between the two locations can pretty much fully be contributed to the difference in rents, and some of it in the difference in wages that are necessary to sustain someone in New York. The price of a certain product or service is determined by the supply and demand. Actually, it is determined by something called the effectual demand, which is those that demand the product at a price so that it allows for the wages of workers, the profits and replacement of capital of businessmen, and often some rent for landowners. I mean, I want a Tesla. It's just that I'm not ready to pay $70,000 for it yet. Thus, I'm a part of the demand, but not the effectual demand that can actually bring the product to the market. Takeaway number 4. The 3 components of price. Part 2. Let's have a look at these 3 components separately. A worker will always demand a wage so that he can at least purchase the necessities of life for himself and his family. This is the bare minimum, which even the simplest type of job must pay, because otherwise, such workers will cease to exist over time. In countries where no minimum wages exist, the simplest jobs will tend to be at this level and not higher. This is because workers are at a natural disadvantage when trying to bargain how much of that price, which was mentioned earlier, which should go towards their salary. They typically exist in abundance compared to capital and land, and moreover, they typically do not have much money spared, so they can't afford to wait for a better opportunity. But salaries can differ a lot, which we shall see later. A businessman is someone who employs his capital to earn a profit within a specific trade or industry. The more capital that is employed in a certain industry, the higher the competition there becomes, and the lower the profits tend to be. So it must be in society as a whole too. If there are no intelligent ways to employ capital anymore, returns will be low. Over time, even though some companies can hold on for very long, returns on capital will even out across industries. This is because where returns are high, there will be incentives to move capital, and where returns are low, there will be incentives to remove capital. This restores an equilibrium of sorts. If you want to know more about which types of industries that can withstand competition the longest, head over to my summary of competitive strategy. An owner of land will either try to sell his land for a profit or lend it out for a rent. Either way, someone down the line will eventually try to lend it out for a rent or use the land themselves, and then it is they who gain the rent. Rents vary a lot depending on location. Some types of land basically afford no rent at all, while those that people find attractive, land in cities or beautiful beach properties, earn a lot of it. Something that should be noted is that rent is quite like a monopoly price. After normal wages have been paid, and the businessman have been able to replace his capital with a decent profit, the owner of the land will pretty much take what's left. Land is immovable and irreplaceable, and is therefore peculiar compared to the 2 other types of revenues that can be earned. Takeaway number 5. Why some jobs pay more than others do. So, profits of industries should average out over time, and more rent is given to the person who holds a property in a city or at a beach. Okay. But why the heck does my neighbor have a higher salary than me, even though I'm much smarter than him? The wages of labor are decided by supply and demand, like everything else. The following 5 factors tend to affect this to increase the wages of a specific job: the expenses and difficulties of learning it, the inconsistency of payments, the trust and responsibility, the improbability of success, and the hardship, dirtiness, and disagreeableness of the job. In the 18th century, a blacksmith had to be an apprentice for many years before he was allowed to open his own trade. During this time, he earned very little, or basically nothing at all. The higher wage that he got once finished is a compensation for those years, and the apprenticeship helps in limiting the supply of such workers. A mason could only work during good weather conditions, and so his hourly wage had to be compensated for those idle hours. A greater responsibility means that fewer people are suited for that type of work, and therefore wages are higher. Back in the days, lawyers and doctors had such roles, and they still have, by the way. The improbability of success is another factor that matters. The expected wage of a job with a very high fail rate is often even lower than normal jobs, but the person who succeeds typically gets the salary of those who fail too, kind of. People searching for gold or treasure belonged to that category. And in the 18th century, the most dirty and disagreeable job one could possibly get was probably that of the public executioner, and the pay was thereafter. Today, a difficult and expensive job to get would be that of the previously mentioned that of a real estate broker. A job which requires a lot of responsibility is that of a pilot. Improbability of success is high among elite athletes and musicians. And the dirtiest and most disagreeable job is probably that of a hedge fund
Alright guys,
manager.
I gotta get off.
This book is more than 900 pages long.
It's done anyways, but they're saying it's 900 pages long. I don't know if that was eye-opening to y'all or what, but you know, you look at the economy so much more different, how important nations are, and this is part of why the whole tariffs concept that Trump wants is kind of, I don't know.
So I'm definitely going.
It goes against this. The productivity is king. You know, it goes against this, and this has been working well, especially for America. And times change, right? Like, but it's not like America's numbers aren't. I don't know. All right, guys, I'm getting off. I will see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out with me for the night. We will see in a couple days who wins.